I never thought I would tell this story, not because I'm ashamed, but because it still hurts. It hurts in the quietest moments when I sit alone at the kitchen table, when the coffee gets cold before I take a sip, or when the house feels full, but she's not really there. Her name is Mia, and she used to be my whole world. When we met, she was sunshine. She laughed easily. Her eyes sparkled when she talked about her dreams. She made the room brighter, and I wanted to be near her light. She said I made her feel safe, and for me, that was enough. Our early days were simple. We didn't have much money, but we had time. We had long walks, late-night talks, Sunday pancakes. I worked hard. She studied. We dreamed together. And when we moved in together, I thought we were starting forever. But forever is longer than I realized. It began slowly. Little things. She started asking, "Do you even notice me anymore?" I would say, "Of course I do." She'd say, "You didn't say anything about my hair." To be honest, I didn't notice a big change. To me, she was always beautiful. She still is. But to her, my silence meant I didn't care, and I didn't understand that back then. One morning, she stood in front of the mirror and said, "Derek, do you see anything wrong with me?" I looked up from my coffee, still half asleep. I smiled and said, "No, you look great." But her face fell. "That's the problem with you. You don't pay attention." I was confused. She looked fine. Beautiful even, but she insisted her hair was terrible, that she needed to go to the salon. I told her honestly that money was tight. Our car had broken down and I needed to get to work. I said gently, "Can't you just use shampoo and conditioner?" She looked at me like I had insulted her soul. "Are you stupid? You don't understand anything about women." She stormed out. I sat there holding my coffee, wondering when love had become so fragile. I gave her my credit card anyway, even though I didn't know how we'd afford groceries that week. She didn't say thank you. She just called a car and left. I had to take the train to work. That day, my friend Robert joined me. He noticed the sadness on my face. "Everything okay, Derek?" I told him about the salon, about the money. He nodded slowly and said, "Be careful." My ex-wife started like that. First it was hair, then clothes, then a Mercedes-Benz. I laughed. He didn't. "You think it's funny now," he said, "but it can happen. Watch your heart. Watch your wallet." That night she came home with glowing skin, perfect nails, fresh curls. I said, "You look beautiful." She said, "I know." Then she told me, like it was no big deal, the Uber driver gave me his number. He said I deserve better. I stared at her. She laughed, but something inside me cracked. I didn't say anything. What could I say? She started coming home later, talking less, laughing less, at least with me, but she laughed on the phone. Smiled while texting. She started dressing up, even when we had no plans. I asked once, "Where are you going?" She said, "Out." I didn't ask again. I started eating dinner alone, started sleeping on the edge of the bed. I still brought her coffee in the morning. She stopped drinking it. One night she was brushing her hair and said, "James said I should take better care of myself. He says my husband doesn't appreciate me." James, the Uber driver. She was saying his name more than mine. I stayed silent, but inside something was dying. A week later, I saw a charge on our credit card, not the salon, a hotel downtown. She said it was a spa package. I said, "Okay." What else could I say? Robert asked me if I was okay. I said yes. He didn't believe me. One evening, I cooked her favorite dinner, pasta with white sauce and garlic bread. She came home late, said she already ate, didn't notice the candles, didn't see the effort. I stood there holding her plate, still warm, like my heart trying to stay hopeful. But she walked past me into the bedroom and closed the door. That night I slept on the couch, not because she asked, but because I couldn't lie next to someone who felt so far away. The next morning, she smiled at her phone again. And I realized She wasn't just pulling away, she was reaching for someone else. I didn't yell, didn't accuse, didn't check her messages. I just looked at her, really looked, and saw. She wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she never really had been. I asked her, "Are you happy?" She paused, didn't answer. That was answer enough. I went to work, took the train, sat quietly. I thought about what Robert said. Love shouldn't feel like a test you can never pass. And I realized I had been trying to pass her test for months, maybe years, but the rules kept changing, and now the prize wasn't even love anymore. That night, I didn't make coffee. I packed a small bag, left a note. I loved you the best way I knew how. But I deserved to be loved back. She didn't call, she didn't chase me. Maybe she was relieved. Maybe I was too. Now I live in a small apartment, nothing fancy. But it's mine. I have peace. I have quiet. I make coffee for myself now and drink it while it's hot. Sometimes it's bitter, but at least it's real. And sometimes I still wonder if I wasn't enough for her. Maybe I'm finally enough.